All right, we have Corey Anderson next. All right, good.
Well, Corey, finally, the finals are here. How excited are you just a few days out from the big fight?
Man, I'm really excited. But like you said, finally, when it all started, the date was supposed to be set for October, so you try to stay active and grind the whole time and without getting hurt. And the pandemic and things happened, just kept getting pushed back. But at the same time, you're still trying to grind because you never know when the date was going to be. But it's been like a long year of training because the opening round was April 14th for me. My first fight was April 14th. Now here we are, April 15th. So it's been a year and a day that I'll be closing it out. So I've been training literally nonstop for a whole year, not going on vacation, taking away time from the family just to get this $1 million. So I'm ready.
So do you think, in retrospect, we asked you guys all at the beginning about the tournament. Are you excited? Everybody says yes. Now that you've been through it, is it a lot more difficult than, say, if you had just fought, a couple of routine fights? Is there any more pressure to stay up to that pace and that scheduling?
No, I think where I am, to be honest, where I rank in the division, it would have been the same. It wouldn't have been a lot of high-class guys trying to fight as much as back-to-back. Here I am getting my third fight pretty much in a year. In a calendar year, that's pretty good, especially when you're one of the top guys in the world. There's not many people out there that want to fight you. And then you take more time to heal and train, and you want to grow. So a few fights I thought about it, if they would have postponed this even further, like I was saying, I might figure out if there's a way to get out of this tournament to go back to making regular money because it had been so long. But then I sat down with my manager and he said the same thing, bro, you got to think, 3 fights in a year, that's technically what you would have been making anyway, even if you weren't in a tournament. So just chill and be patient. So, we just stayed smart, stayed patient, and here we are.
And it turns out that you land on the card with the same fight that would probably be the only fight Bellator would book above you. Were you a little disappointed that you weren't a main event for this one, or are you cool being on such a stacked card?
Only thing I was disappointed, I wanted the confetti and everything falling. I wanted to pop champagne like AJ and spray it in the cage, and I win my $1 million, But with him coming in behind me, I guess I won't be doing any of that because I can't leave the cage a mess. But other than that, I don't care where I am. $1 million, get my belt. I just want to go out there and get this dub. But, yeah, I'm just excited to be here, man.
Yeah, can have this champagne celebration in the locker room, I'm sure, afterwards. Now that you've had some time, to watch Vadim go through the tournament, obviously he's looked great, you've looked great. What do you do? What do you have to do differently when you step in there Saturday to get a different result than these other guys?
I just got to be me. The thing is, these other guys he fought wasn't Corey Anderson. So now he's got to fight Corey Anderson. So just go out there and do the same thing I've been doing to be dominant, and the fights I've lost has been because I did something wrong or got caught. The fights I win, I always dominate. There's never been a close fight. It hasn't been like, oh, this guy almost beat Corey. No, when I win because that's just my style. So if I go out there and do what Corey Anderson does, I should go out there and do the same thing I've done in every victory, come out victorious, unscathed.
Promoters will always say that they have the best fighters or the best champions. Scott Coker has specifically always zoned in on light heavyweight. And now, if you go out there and win the belt on Saturday, looking at the UFC's light heavyweight division, you have a win over the guy that has their belt. Is there any doubt in your mind if you win Saturday, Friday, that you are the best heavyweight in the world? Light heavyweight?
I haven't had a doubt in my mind since my last UFC fight. I haven't had a doubt in my mind for a while now. I know I'm the best. I'm just going to go out here and prove it this weekend.
Hey, Corey, how are you? Corey, I was wondering, you talked about a little bit. You see AJ win. You know, there's footage out there. You see guys like Douglas Lima win it, Ryan Bader win it. I mean, now being in the tournament, how much do you reflect on watching those other tournaments and that experience as you head into your final?
I mean, I don't take those experiences to anything from my fight. The only thing I took was the champagne and confetti. I just thought it'd be cool to get that celebration, It's like the end of a race. You go to the winner's circle, you pop your champagne, you do your donuts in your car, your different stuff to celebrate because it's over. Everybody there watching you now, the winner's circle, The fact there's a fight after, it doesn't matter, but what they did and they winning and how it works for them isn't the same for me. As long as I get my win, that's all that matters.
Do you wish that 50 Cent was going to be there to give you the champagne on Friday?
It would be nice to meet 50 Cent, but at the same time, regardless, it doesn't matter to me.
Just talking a little bit about Vadim Nemkov. Just look, he's on a great run. Just what have you taken from his fights that you feel you might see a couple openings there for you to take advantage of?
I mean, what I've seen from Nemkov's fights is he's very active, He's a high pace. In the first round, he's usually throwing at least 60, 70 punches all the time. But the thing is, he does that a lot. He can get away with that a lot because most guys doesn't move with him. You know, the fact that he moves throws guys off, and when they freeze, that's when he can let go of combo. As for I move as well, so I feel like that's going to be a really good thing. It's going to be a chess game pretty much, I feel. Who's going to be the first person to freeze and make the mistake and capitalize? So I'm just excited, you know, to finally go out there to fight somebody else that moves like me. I usually only get looks like that in training because I have other Dagestanians and Russians that come out and train, and they sambo guys just like him. They train, they bounce, they do the same punches, the same kicks, spinning kicks, takedowns, and things. So now to actually test it in an actual fight organization in a cage, I'm excited for that.
Hey, Corey, the last time that you were in a pro MMA tournament, you won, currently 100% win rate. How confident are you coming into these light heavyweight finals?
I mean, I'm just confident going into the fight, period. It doesn't matter if it's a tournament, don't matter if it's exhibition, didn't matter if I was in the alley, doesn't matter if we're in a hotel room. I just know what I'm capable of, I know how good I am. I know how great I am, and I've been saying it for a while, and now I'm going to go out there and prove it.
AJ McKee's similarly advertised his affinity for hunting. Do you think we could see an overtime and mercenary hunting trip in the future?
Oh, hell yeah. I didn't even know he was into hunting, for sure. I got an Outdoors at Overtime. Hey, check me out, Outdoors at Overtime on YouTube and Instagram. You know, I do a lot of hunts. I went to Joe Rogan's and shot with him. That's on there. I'm trying to get some stuff for like Cam Haynes. I did one with John Dudley. So anybody I can collab with, I'm always interested in. But if he's a fellow Bellator champ and I be the champ, bro, we take our belts on a hunting trip. You know, we camp out, we polish them mugs, we go shoot some animals, come back, grill them up, eat them up with our belts on the table. You know, that'd be a hell of an episode. Get a bunch of clicks.
I'd definitely watch that. Last one from me. Lincoln College has sadly shut its doors. Knowing how much you benefited from your time there, I was curious what you would say to someone who maybe didn't find the same mentorship or guidance in those 4 years. And what words of encouragement do you have for them?
You just hit me with that one, man. Lincoln College, I can hear it in my voice, not trying not to cry. That was home for me, man. If it wasn't for Lincoln, I wouldn't be here. But I always show homage. I always wear the Lincoln College hat. I always want to with the sweats in the back. And it's ironic for me that this happened at this point. Actually, one of the coaches that helped me start in this game, Mark Fiore, he was from Lincoln College. He's actually here corner. Somebody just got a call in the last second. I actually flew my old head coach out from Lincoln College that gave me the opportunity because I told him this is the biggest point of my career and I want you here because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. The coach that trained me and get me to be the athlete I am, I flew him out for the same thing. And after I booked all those flights, it was announced like Lincoln College is closing the doors. And for me, that was like, this is meant to be for me to fly these guys out here, and I got to win these belts for these guys. So I always fell short. I took second, I took sixth, but I never gave them their gold, and this is my opportunity. And then also I feel I can do this and dedicate it to Lincoln College, you know. And the advice I can give kids that's in a similar situation as me is just, like for me, I didn't have the grades, you know. So Lincoln College, the coach reached out to me and gave me the opportunity. And when one door closes, you know, it's always another door that opens, they say. And Lincoln College is that door. So for kids that's going through it, you can't go to school somewhere, you want to go to a university and your grades don't match, or you want to go play athletics and you're just not good enough to go D1, find your junior college out there, man, a small junior college that you can call home. Somebody with professors and teachers and coaches, and everybody's going to take the time to help you mold into the man you are. Because like I said the other day in an interview, I was once a 300-pound kid, and I was at Lincoln College, and those guys helped me mold myself into this hard-working mindset I had to never quit, to always act fresh, turn the pace up. You never stop working, never be out of work. And the biggest quote that Coach Clem gave me that I learned in Lincoln College locker room, he said, never save anything for tomorrow. We all in practice, we wasting our energy, so I'm saving it for tomorrow. Why would you waste that energy for tomorrow when tomorrow's never promised? And you'll wake up in the morning and guess what? It's today. Do everything you can today. Give it your all today, and that's all you got to say. And that stuck with me for the rest of my life. And that, like I said, it's touching me to just think about Lincoln is closed. That's tough for me.
What's up, Corey? It's a very inspiring story. You have 3 finishes in your 3 fights with Bellator. I got to ask, did you make any conscious changes to your training regimen or alter your mindset heading into fights when you made the move to Bellator?
The biggest thing that changed when I came to Bellator was there was no more politics in it, man. You know, in the past organization, the organization I was in last was, it was told to my face, like they pulled me to their office and said, there's no doubt that you deserve the title fight, Mr. Anderson. But the thing is, you're just not exciting. You don't move the needle, you know? So for you to get title shots, you have to go out there and do something exciting. You got to make people want to get behind you. You got to do stuff with your Instagram. You got to get more followers. They said, we can't promote you because you only got 40,000 followers at the time. This is what I had at the time. This is going to the Johnny Walker fight. And they told me that I took offense to it, but at the same time I took it in like I gotta do something to get this title fight. That's what I wanted. That's what I'm here for. So in those last few fights, as you guys realize, I didn't get as many takedowns in my last few. I was out there throwing knuckles because I was trying to be exciting. I was trying to get the fans behind me. Then when I came here, when I signed my contract that morning, Scott Coker reached out to me, and I was in California actually helping DC train for his camp, and we went and got breakfast. And I told Scott, like, I'm going to be honest, man, I want to just go back to being me. You know, I just want to go back and just fight, do what I would do. Corey Anderson is a wrestler. I wrestle, I ground and pound. That's what I want to do. You know, I'm not worried about being exciting. I can't bunch of followers and all this. And he said, straight to my face, he said, Mr. Anderson, I'm going to tell you right now, if you come here and you win and you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to go in the right direction. That's all I can tell you. My father always told me the martial artists are the show. I'm just a promoter. I'm just here to make sure you guys get to shine and do what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to put any extra baggage on you. And he kept his word. And when I came here with that in my mind, like, it's time to go back to being you. Corey Anderson, ground and pound. That's what I'm known for. I'm a great wrestler. I led the UFC in takedowns. I'm probably going to leave this in takedowns. I'll leave Bellator. That's just what I do. And I just went there like, all right, we're going back to what we're doing now. You know, use our movement, use our hands, get those takedowns, and don't let them up. Ground and pound. And I got out there, and I did it the first time, and it just felt good to go back to what I originally started doing when I got here. And then I just went back to the gym and just perfected it more and more and more. And that's it. Why stray away from it?
That's how it should be. And speaking of your past promotion, do you have any prediction for May 14th's main event with Jan Blachowicz taking on Alexander Rakic?
No.
Nope. And do you feel that Nemkov is your toughest opponent to date, your most dangerous opponent?
I feel like he's definitely my most trickiest opponent, but I can't say if he's the most dangerous until I get in there with him. He definitely does a lot of things other guys don't do, but he does a lot of things that all my combined opponents do together. So if I take something from a little bit of each guy I fought, it's a little bit of him, of each one of them in him. But the one thing he does, a lot of them don't, is he's constantly moving. You know, most heavy guys definitely like heavyweight. They're looking for that big knockout shot. They playing heavy foot. They want to land that big right hand. They want to land that big left hook, the big overhand right, big uppercut. Something's going to catch you. As for Nemkov, his feet is never sitting still, so you never know when it's coming. You know, a lot of those guys, they used to fake, and I can pull it out, and I see exactly what they're going to throw. And I just stay away from it. And I can chip him up, and move. As for him, he's always on his toes as well. He's never showing what he's going to do. So you just have to be aware. You got to be alert when it comes, be able to slip it, block it, and react to it right away.
And is it the slightest bit difficult to not think about the looming $1 million prize that goes to the winner of this bout?
No, not at all. That's probably the last thing I'm thinking about, to be honest. You know, I came to Bellator, and yes, I got a lot more money than I had in previous promotion, but as I tell everybody, since I got in the fight game, I had a business degree. I knew from the beginning the money doesn't last, so every fight check I've ever earned has been direct deposit into a small savings account back home, so I don't touch that. So all my money has been saved my whole career. So with that, the $1 million, when it came, like, oh, you get $1 million, this is going to be life-changing. Yes, it changed my life, but at the same time, it's not going to change my mindset because every money I've made in the fight game has just been saved. So it's not like I'm broke. I live like a poor man. I live way below my means. I just finally bought my first new car, bought my wife a new car, only because I made so much money here I had to. But other than that, I was driving a 2001 Honda Accord that was rattled, rusted. You know, I wouldn't buy anything new. I wouldn't pay nobody to fix nothing. I live very cheap and frugal to just save my money because money doesn't really motivate me. My father had money. I grew up with a roof over my head and everything I ever needed and earned everything I wanted. So, you know, money isn't never like, oh, I need that. But it's also fun to know my kids will be taken care of down the road because we got that extra $1 million on top of everything else, and we ain't got nothing to worry about.
Thank you. We will now take questions from the internet. Nathan, go ahead.
Corey, you talked about how your coaches at Lincoln College have shaped you. You just talked about how your father has shaped you. Mark Henry has been there for you from day one. What has he been telling you in preparation for this bout?
The biggest thing Mark tells me is the same thing he tells me every day in sparring, we hit mitts, in every fight. Mr. Corey, go out there and be you. That's it. He don't have to tell me anything else because they don't have to tell me to go to the gym. They don't have to tell me to work hard. They don't have to tell me to be smarter because that's just who I am. So when we get into these fights and we get into the big things and most people get into the lights and you start freezing, Mark will just grab me one time like, hey, be you. Just be you. And that's all he said all camp, man. Go into this fight, be you. You done did everything you're supposed to do the last 8 years we've been together. Like you said, Mark has molded me to be who I am. When you see me in the cage, that's Mark Henry. I came from the Ultimate Fighter knowing the jab, cross, and the double leg. He moved me to Jersey or asked me to come to Jersey, and he taught me everything else. And then after we got it, we just worked, we hung out, we trained, we studied. And now we're to the point now, it just reminds me when I start doing wrong or I'm moving slow or doing something, just say, hey, be you. Go back to being you. You're going to be good. Be you. And once I get that, it's on.
You're from Rockland, Illinois. You live in Rockland, Illinois, I should say. And they've had some rough times with the chemical plant fire recently or over the past year or so. What would your victory mean to that community?
Yeah, like you said, the Chem 2 fire, that was pretty big. That hit last year. That was right behind my parents' house, to be honest. I don't think my victory is going to do much for that. Like, it don't mean much for that. But as a community, like we doing a thing right now, rocking with Corey Anderson on fight night. And I'm dedicating all the proceeds that come from the event at the Hard Rock Casino in Rockford, Illinois, actually outside of Rockton, to Vets Road, which is an organization that takes veterans to Washington to see the monumental wall of the vets that didn't get there. Older vets that can't travel, they take a bunch of buses and take them over there. So that's one thing I'm promoting with this fight. And you know, just to see a small town kid like where I grew up, when I grew up there, it was 1,200 people in the town. We had 1 stoplight and 4 stop signs, you know. And to see the only other person to make it out of there was Danica Patrick, but to see years later this small town kid, the only black kid at one point, to make it out of town and do great things and still come back and still claim your town and come back and train with these kids. And I think it's just going to send a message to all these small town kids, not just Rockton, but everywhere. Like, you can do it, man. You just got to have the right mindset, find the right circle of people, have the right influences and the great coaches that's going to keep pushing you. And at the end of the day, anything is possible. You hear it your whole life, but here I am to show you and tell you, you can do it too.
Next question from Andrew.
Hey, Corey, congratulations on even making it all the way to the finals of the tournament. That's no easy feat. I think a lot of people are sitting on that fact alone, so congratulations on that. My question for you is, realistically and stylistically, is there anybody that you faced in either organization that kind of prepared you for this matchup against Hancock?
I don't think so, to be honest. Like I said, the way he bounces and moves he's very smart with his movement and his bouncing, and a lot of people think he's just like bouncing to be bouncing, but seeing that I come from a similar background, not a background, but my coach does the same thing because we have the Russians and the Dagestanian guys from Sambo, so we know why they're moving. I don't think anybody else out there that I've fought, at least, does that as well as he does. So, no, I don't think I fought anybody similar.
We're going to go ahead to Mills.
Hey, how's it going, Corey? This is MMA Locker Room part of Club Sports Radio. I just want to say, man, you've been doing a good job of actually doing the right things once you get that opportunity with that microphone, saying the right things, being a role model and everything like that. Underdogs is barking right now. Lastly, I'm betting on you to go ahead and bring home that million. So, man, how's it going to feel to get that million and get that belt this Saturday, actually this Friday?
It's going to feel like a burden off my back, man. You know, it's because I've came in the game chasing gold. You know, a lot of people come here chasing fame. Some people come here chasing money. I came here chasing gold. That's all I ever wanted. That's all I wanted to be the best. And everything I did, like I said earlier, I grew up with wealth, so that never really encouraged me. The gold is what I wanted, to be the best. And to go out there and get it and get that belt wrapped around my waist, I can just feel the weight being lifted off my back now. It's just, like I said, it's been 8 years I've been in this game, and I've just trained nonstop for this. Stayed dedicated, stayed smart, just worked hard. So to go out there and get that gold finally after all this time in the game, all the ups and downs, it's just going to feel great.
All right, last question from Ike.
Hey, Corey, how's it going, man?
Going good.
How refreshing does it feel to be your genuine self, be the humble, respectful martial artist that you are, and to get a lot of shine for it, and you got a major opportunity ahead of you, and you're on a major platform. It just seems that, not saying you would look good in furs or chinchillas or leather pants, but it seems like you are being your authentic self. How good does it feel to kind of, I don't know, just represent the humble guy?
It just feels like being me, man. You know, I remember when I won the Ultimate Fighter, when I came home And I remember my father, the first thing he said, like I said, my father's a successful businessman. And he looked at me, and we all sounded like, why are you looking at me like that? He said, you think you something, don't you? I said, what? And he said, you just remember this. The same people you passing the way up, it's going to be the same people you passing the way down. Don't ever let nobody change you, boy. You be you all the time. And it's just stuck. So here we are. That was 2014, 2022. And I remember that to this day. Like, I remember at that point, I saved every dime I had. I lived cheap. I was smart with my money, and I've always been a good person. I've always been kind. I always treat people the same. And as the money came, I never forgot that. Like I said, I always think about it. No matter how much money I make, the janitor is the same person as me. He put his pants on the same way. He just got a different job. I go people places and they say, oh, Corey, you're famous. Like, no, stop that. You just know me because you see me on TV. I'm the same as you, man. Ain't nothing changed. And that's just who I am. That's who I'm going to be to the day I die.
Thank you so much, Corey. That concludes our session with Mr. Anderson.